On Tempe Drive, good evening, everyone. I'm Eric Franke. That's what a property owner says is happening at a Madison residence. Yesterday, the homeless advocacy group Operation Welcome Home held a news conference outside a Westside duplex announcing it had moved a family into a home facing foreclosure and called to expand that practice to end homelessness. The Night Team's David Douglas continues our coverage with the latest on the expanding squatting saga. David.
Reps of the group, Eric, say they are in fact not breaking the law and say if they are, laws should change to allow families without a home to take residence in a vacant one.
If only walls could talk. This drab duplex on Madison's Tempe Drive has seen a lot in the last year. Its property owner is facing foreclosure, and its current occupant could be forced out. Desiree Wilson is by definition a squatter.
It's not against the law. This is above the law. It's so much bigger than just me. It's about housing as a human right, and we feel that everybody should be entitled to that.
We're saying is that instead of the banks getting these houses, that they should be given back to the community.
Z. Hawkins has quickly become the face of Operation Welcome Home, the group that helped move Wilson and her 2 young children in 2 weeks ago. He says because of foreclosure proceedings, a trespassing complaint filed by the owner isn't valid.
It's our understanding from our attorney that he doesn't have the grounds to make that complaint.
News 3 is told the house has working utilities, which Wilson has apparently requested be put in her name. She'd also like to pay rent.
Hopefully that I can stay here and pay rent to whoever takes over this property.
But how would she feel if the owner-squatter roles were reversed?
As long as they were going to be a good neighbor and kept up the place and didn't bring down property value, hey, welcome.
So what's the ultimate goal? It seems perhaps to let anyone live anywhere.
To have a fundamental transformation of land relationships so that the land is actually owned by the community, all of the land, and not owned by corporations and not owned by banks and possibly not owned by individuals.
Court records show Wilson does have a history of evictions, and she admits her rental history is not good, and she says that's why she can't get another apartment, but is working and saving money.
So where does this go next? That's the big question. Do they expect she'll be kicked out, and then what?
Well, no, they hope she isn't, and they're really hoping to work with the police so Wilson can stay and pay rent to whoever ends up owning that property. But this has happened in other cities. The difference is in those cases, the homes are already foreclosed on. This property hasn't gone to auction yet, which means technically that owner still owns the home. A meeting tomorrow with police should shed a little more light. We'll, of course, be following it.
All right. David Douglas reporting tonight. David, thank you very much. So what about the point that foreclosed homes could help house the low income and the homeless? Well, there are already federal programs to help buy and renovate properties for that reason. David reported on that in April, the success of Madison organizations using federal money for that very purpose.